Hey, I'm Lax. I like playing Pokemon and storytelling, and boy do I have a story to tell you. This is Pokemon Scarlet, the setting of this lengthy epic of the unepic variety. Pokemon Scarlet is a Generation 9 Pokemon game set in Paldea, an open-world continent. As it is open world, you're technically free to take on Paldea's many challenges in any order you so choose. Except not really, since there isn't any dynamic level scaling, a concept which you could technically do in Generation 1 to a lesser degree, but still. Anyways, Pokemon Scarlet is a game designed and built with the assumption that we, the player formerly known as Lax, would have and use a full team of 6 Pokemon, of varying types and vastly different movesets. We're not going to be doing any of those things. And although Pokemon games aren't exactly known for their difficulty, I seriously don't think I've ever struggled with a single Pokemon game, even at a young age. What we're going to attempt might just up the challenge level. But enough beating around the bush, this video is all about Sunkern, and a simple question. Can a duo Sunkern team solo, or rather dolo, Pokemon Scarlet? Yes, you heard that right, I am going to be using 2 of them. But trust me, that's not going to make things much easier, and it also allows for some pretty cool strategies that would otherwise go unused in a solo run. So, with all that being said, I guess let's line out some rules. Number 1, only use 2 Sunkern, unless asterisk. I'll mention these if and when the need arises. Number 2, see how far we can get without items in battle. I'm not a fool. I know how frail these little guys are, but I'll be doing my best to not rely on this at all. And that's about it for the rules. We will be attempting to get through all 3 quest lines as well as the endgame stuff, but I am getting way ahead of myself. I don't even have the right game booted up, and that's because I need to actually get these Sunkern into my game first. With the help of my partner in crime, I am able to trade these guys over after a lengthy exposition dump. Seriously, I don't think I ever realized how much dialogue coded the first hour of the game. It felt like homework just getting through it so that I could actually start the challenge. Now, the eagle-eyed among you may notice that both of these Sunkern are shiny. These are the problem children that I spent hundreds of hours hatching for my first video. My very first video, a video that only took 8 minutes to showcase. And that is another reason why this isn't a true solo. It only felt right to use both after spending so much time trying to acquire them. Something sunk cost fallacy. Cognitive biases aside, it is time to start this run properly. We start by picking up a few loose items on the way to our first encounter, Azurill. We struggle through a few more fights with another Azurill, a Magikarp, a Bonsly, and a Trainer's Roly-Coly, getting to level 10 and learning Mega Drain in the process. After this stint of leveling, which even though it was only like 5 fights took almost 20 minutes, we head to Mesagoza's South Gate. And we're greeted by Nemona. She'll be playing the part of our quirky, hyperfixated battle buddy. After a brief hello and some exposition, she suggests a battle onto us. And I gotta say, at level 10, I did not envision any issues. We outlevel her by 2, and we resist her grass attacks. She starts out with Sprigatito at level 8, a full 2 levels below both of my Sunkern. I start out by setting up a growth, and seeing Sprigatito open with Scratch and then a Tail Whip, thought I might be in the clear here. Until that second Scratch landed, and it did a lot more damage. With 2 growths under my belt, going on the offensive with Absorb seemed like the play, but that only did like 4 HP of damage. After getting flinched by Bite, it's time to swap. Sunkern 2 comes out, and he's got Mega Drain. With twice the power of Absorb, but none of the growths, it's still my best shot. You can see me hover over the battle button here, just mentally weighing my options. I continue my onslaught of Mega Drains, gaining token amounts of HP back, all the while being whittled down by Sprigatito. Landing a Leafage and following up with a Bite, it's unfortunately all over. Sunkern 1 has only 3 health left and has lost all stat boosts from swapping out. He takes a final bite, and that's all she wrote. Fortunately, this was more of an exhibition match. We don't actually need to win here, which is good, because Nemona still had 1 in reserve. After that turd-flavored travesty wrapped up and presented as if it were a Pokemon battle, we head into Mesagoza proper and meet a new character, as well as this game's bad guy team, Team Star. After expositionally waxing philosophically, we are eventually tossed into a Pokemon battle with the first grunt, uniquely named Grunt A. Grunt A uses Shroodle. Shroodle is a new Pokemon for this generation, a poison normal type. After swinging a single Mega Drain, Tackle is apparently going to do more damage due to Shroodle's poison typing. We swing a few more tackles and heal with our Oran Berry and finish off Shroodle with one final tackle. Hey, we actually want to fight! That, a little bit more exposition happens because, can't get enough of them words, in which Grunt B looks terrified, Nemona, Battle Buddy appears and offers us a rock. Unlocking Terastallization, this game's big battle gimmick. It does a few things, but what matters now is that it changes our STAB attacks to 200% from 150. Now, I know that's a lot of words, but it's Pokemon, so it's not overly complicated. STAB stands for same type attack bonus. Basically, if you have a grass-type Pokemon, they use a grass-type move, they get a 50% boost to its power. Terastallization adds an additional 50% to that 150%, making it 200% total, which is why my Mega Drain two-shot this Yungoos. We're going to use this a lot. And just like that, Grunt B is no more. A and B run off to continue doing problematic things. We continue up the stairs to our school and meet up with Director Clavel, and are then show and told by Professor Jacques, I think. That's the problem with reading things from a script, is that I may mispronounce things from time to time. I don't have any sound on. By the way, I think this cutscene took approximately 150% of Game Freak's budget. We meet up with Arven and learn of his quest, The Path of Legends, get hijacked in the cafeteria by a nerd, and bump into Nemona again to learn of her quest, Victory Road. After leaving the school, we meet up with Nemona and Arven in the courtyard and are once again contacted by Techno-Wizard/Spam Risk about my Amazon password being deleted, or whatever, and Starfall Street. At this point, the game opens up in earnest. You can go anywhere and technically do almost anything. I decide to start fresh with part of Arven's quest, Cloth, the Stony Cliff Titan. Cloth is a new Pokemon in Generation 9 and has been given the Titan treatment. That doesn't change the fact that he's only Rock type, and we've got a massive type advantage. Starting out this battle for the first time at level 12, we Terastallize out of the gate and ready a Mega Drain. Cloth counters with Block. Yeah, I wasn't going to be going anywhere, buddy. Mega Drain, being super effective, looks to be doing about a third, and oh, that's bad. Cloth One-Punch Man's my first Sunkern, and we send out Sunkern number 2. We ready a Mega Drain, and Cloth uses Block on this one as well. I mean, I really just consider this a free turn since I don't plan on running. I swing a Mega Drain, and it's doing not enough, but Sunkern 2 does survive an attack and can even follow up with one more Mega Drain. Tragically, but overall thematically fitting, Sunkern loses its first major battle. Cloth uses Rock Smash, ending the encounter. I think victory for Cloth would be assured at a slightly higher level, but it's a little early to grind too crazily, and I've got other paths I'd like to try and follow. Speaking of which, let's check out the town of Artisan. And of course, like a bloodhound, Nemona can smell a looming battle from a mile away. She introduces us to the gym test mechanic. Gym tests vary for each gym and are all small tasks, subquests, or battles, or a mixture of all three, before the big bad boss battle. Giving us some super potions, she leaves saying, "Smell you later, loser." Ouch, my feelings. We walk over and speak to the lady behind the counter, and she says what I said about the gym tests, basically, kinda. This gym test is Sunflora Hide and Seek. We need to find 10 Sunflora hidden around the town of Artisan. We find our first Sunflora staring longingly at a vending machine. We misclick Assert Dominance by browsing the menu and choosing to purchase nothing, and securing our first Sunflora. We then find number 2, battle number 3, find number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. After finding all 10, we have completed our very first gym test. And I am sure after a gym test that easy, the gym leader for this town must be a cakewalk. Well, Vine Daddy Brassius likes vines and whips and vine whips, and long walks on a windmill. He's the gym leader of Artisan, and if you couldn't tell by the context clues, his hair, clothes, name, quote-unquote accessories, he's the grass-typiest grass-type user of Scarlet and Violet. He starts off with Petalil, and Sunkern resists all of Petalil's moves, which I think gave me a false sense of security. This fight did not go well, and it was due in part to my poor calculations. You see, I overshot the amount of growths that I could reasonably set up without getting knocked out, and Petalil practiced the patented, let's press the A button 4 times and see what happens, and what happens is I lose my terastallization early. I send out Sunkern number 2 and use Tackle, but I am quickly realizing that making any real headway against Petalil will be difficult without being terrored or growthed or both. I managed to set up a couple of growths, but unfortunately it's too little too late. We can't out-heal Petalil's Mega Drains with our own. I'm able to delay the inevitable for a few more turns with my own attacks, Mega Drain and subsequently Tackle, but it's just that, a delay. We lose our first try against Brassius at level 15. Alrighty then, so what do we do now? Well, like I knew we'd always have to, we level up. Fortunately, we are positioned perfectly to take down a couple of Cloths, both geographically and type-wise. We can terastallize once per Pokemon Center visit, and that usually nets us the victory with Mega Drain. Now, for round 2 Brassius, we're level 18. Like always, Brasshole starts with Petalil and Mr. Good Choices with Sunkern. You can actually see the equations flying past my head as I hover over the battle button. We terastallize immediately and use Growth. I take a Mega Drain, use one more Growth, and take another Mega Drain, which I learned is its only damage-dealing move. At this point, I play around with a few options, my newly acquired Razor Leaf for a sweet critical hit, and a couple of tackles. I think using Mega Drain here was the play, as it would also heal me some, but a win is a win. And when we do, at least against Petalil, Brassive Ego then sends out Smoliv, my channel's icon, except my guy has a beanie on. Sunkern uses Mega Drain and outspeeds, and Smoliv uses Tackle. Sunkern then uses Mega Drain and outspeeds. Smoliv uses Tackle. Sunkern then uses Mega Drain and outspeeds, and Smoliv uses Die. And it's pretty effective. We decide not to learn Worry Seed in the middle of battle, opting to look into it later since you can relearn moves on the fly in this game. Thank you, Game Freak. And out comes Brassica Prime's ace, Sudowoodo. He makes a joke that's been cooking since November 21st, 1999, and terastallizes his rock type into the grass type to match his team. We start with a Mega Drain to heal a little bit back and deal about 1/8 damage. We outspeed, that's great, but Sudowoodo has Trailblaze, which will raise its speed on use. And Sunkern is so slow that one Trailblaze is enough to outspeed both. Our first Sunkern goes down along with our terastallization, and Sunkern 2 comes out. We swing a Razor Leaf hoping for a crit, and we don't get it. Not that it would have changed much. Sudowoodo swings one final rock throw, and we're met with defeat. But hey, big progress here. At this point, I think it's high time we went back to Cloth, the Titan, not the regular ones. When last we lost, we were level 12. We're now significantly stronger at level 20, and it shows. We terastallize immediately, pulling no punches because we got a video to make and challenges to complete. Mega Drain deals significant damage, well over half, and he lands a Rock Smash. His Anger Shell fires off, but he only lands a slightly stronger Rock Smash on his following turn, while my final Mega Drain ends Phase 1. Cloth panics, runs away, and jumps off a cliff. We give chase to discover him doing whatever this is, and Arven shows up, hey Arven, to tell us it's definitely not drugs. Cloth goes Super Saiyan and Phase 2 begins. Arven's gonna join us for this fight, and it becomes a double battle, but just for our side. Arven sends out a Shelter to distract Cloth, while I terastallize and badger it with Mega Drain. Cloth uses Block, and Shelter outspeeds with Life Dew. Shelter outspeeds, it has no legs. Life Dew will moderately heal all allies to make this encounter just a little bit safer. I'll continue to use Mega Drains while Cloth will continue to target only Shelter, who has significantly higher base defense than we do. I use Mega Drain again, and man, I wish Overheal was a mechanic, and Shelter uses Life Dew. And with one final Mega Drain, 3 in total, the encounter is concluded. Arven and I stare at each other for a while, walk over to the apparently inviting mouth of the cave that the Not Drugs came from, and head on inside. Inside, we find the source of all things sweet, take it without a second thought, and complete our very first objective of many, hopefully. Stony Cliff Titan defeated. Shine, get. Oh, wait, wrong game. Anyways, with this, part 1 of 5 of the Path of Legends has been ticked off. Outside, we are given yet another unsolicited call, but this time by Arvin's hot cave mom. She lets us know that every time Koraidon, our bike, eats a controlled sandwich substance, he unlocks a new ability. There's a great lesson in that for the kids. Thanks, Game Freak. And now on to Brassius. Our previous loss was at level 19. We're just a little bit stronger now, but we were also really close last time. So let's see how we hold up. We send out our now level 20 Sunkern, and of course, Brassius sends out Petalil. We know Petalil only uses Mega Drain, so we can reasonably set up a few growths to strengthen our special attack. After that, we Terrastalize and start out with Mega Drain, and whoa! That did a lot of damage. Petalil down. Brassius sends out Smoliv, and we're gonna stick with the Sunkern we've been beefing up. Mega Drain does almost all of Smoliv's HP. I'm really liking the amount of growths we used. We use one more Mega Drain and knock out Smoliv, and we are almost full HP for Sudowoodo. Which, after the requisite exposition, which is totally necessary, we'll get to see. Of course, Brassius will Terrastalize Sudowoodo to the Grass type at his first opportunity. We'll use Mega Drain and Outspeed and deal just under half. That's not bad at all. But Trailblaze is similarly dealing half health and now outspeeds. Thankfully, Rock Throw misses, but we don't. Now in the red zone, Sudowoodo swings another Rock Throw for massive damage. A crit would have ended us, but we land a crit, not that it matters at this point, and end Sudowoodo. With our battle concluded, Brassius has a small breakdown. Guess he didn't expect Sunkern to beat him. Yeah, me neither, buddy. And just like that, we earn our second victory screen and first gym badge. After some much-needed exposition, we're moving across the continent of Paldea to the intended second gem. And as if on cue, the expositionary queen herself, Nemona, swoops in. Nemona turns the thoughts valves on to full and languishes long-windedly about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness, or whatever. I didn't read it. Can you blame me? She gives us some stuff, and we talk to the gentleman behind the counter about gym test number 2. This test is basically soccer meets olive-shaped beach ball and Ultimate Ninja Warrior. We gotta slap this thing through a maze into the goalpost at the far end. We're allowed to use Koraidon, meaning walls are optional and at most a suggestion. After we reach the goal, gym test passed. And with that, let's talk about Katie. Katie is the intended second gym leader of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Her interests include gardening and baking bug muffins, and if you couldn't tell from that, she's the bug-type gym leader, and for Sunkern, that's really bad. You see, Sunkern, besides just being generally weak, has a few main type-related weaknesses, and Katie wields one of those, so this may be a hard-fought battle. Even at 7 levels lower, Nimble does massive damage with Struggle Bug, lowering Sunkern 1's special attack in the process, so setting up growth is a no-go. I guess now's a good time to say this. I go into these gym battles blind. The last time I've seen them was about 2 years ago on release, so I was not prepared for the havoc wreaking in the form of Struggle Bug. Sending out Sunkern number 2, we immediately Terrastalize and go for Razor Leaf. It's not a special attack, but we may land a crit, right? Nope, we miss. But Nimble doesn't miss though, and our second Razor Leaf doesn't miss either. Katie lands one more Struggle Bug, and we one more Razor Leaf, ending the encounter and not requiring a crit. But unfortunately, that was only Katie's first Pokemon. She sends out Tarantula, and we ready a Mega Drain. But because we're like -4 special attack, it does nothing, and we succumb to Bug Bite. That's a shame, we were on a real roll there. Yeah. Very predictably, and I don't believe shocking to anyone who's watching, this was not a first try victory. Let's jump back in and see if a different strategy can give us any newer results. Immediately what you'll notice is that we widen the level gap further, now level 23. We don't bother with growth, opting to Mega Drain immediately to put down Nimble ASAP. Nimble uses Struggle Bug a couple of times, again lowering my special attack, and we finish it with a Tackle. We swap our undamaged Sunkern, which will also get rid of its stat changes. With our fresh and feisty Sunkern sent out, it's probably wise that we go ahead and Terrastalize. That's exactly what we do, and then we can start on with our onslaught of Mega Drains. We're dealing just shy of half health at our current level, not too bad. Bug Bite deals really heavy damage and eats my berry, uncool. And with one more Mega Drain, it's apparent that with a higher damage roll, or maybe even one more level, we should be able to reliably two-shot Tarantula, which would save us taking an extra hit. And that is a good bit of progress right there. Katie sends out the Big Bad Bear and immediately makes it the Bug type with Terrastalization. My first thought is, that's a Teddiursa. What Bug type move could it possibly know? As I ready my Giga Drain, and we're doing about a quarter, we start to wail on it. Teddiursa uses Fury Cutter. Oh no. Oh, my Gen 2 flashbacks are coming back. Oh no, I went to therapy for that and everything. Like a band-aid on my psyche, out comes Sunkern 2. We use Giga Drain, taking Teddy Ursa to just over half and healing ourselves to just over half. But it's just not enough to survive a fired-up Fury Cutter. All is not lost, however. We may have lost the battle, but I don't consider it a failure. We jump back in with significantly more knowledge on this next round. We're jumping back in at level 25. Giga Drain is dealing well over half, meaning only 2 are needed, even with special attack drops, to knock out Nimble. And we're starting out fully healed. We go ahead and swap out to our reserve Sunkern because healing those special attack drops is very appealing to me. We terastalize immediately and go for follow-up Giga Drains on Tarantula, and they're doing just shy of half. That's not bad, but a follow-up Giga Drain shows that it was a range, and a high roll knocks it out. Now it's time once more for her ace, Teddy Ursa. She of course terastalizes immediately, and the body horror of normal falling host to bug is not lost on me. We ready and land our Giga Drain and are fully healed to tank Teddy Ursa's first attack, which of course is going to be Fury Cutter. It does significantly more than half, but I think you can see my strategy here. Just one turn too soon as I used Endeavor. If I had used Giga Drain, I think I could have done it in this battle, but reality is often disappointing. Sunkern 2 comes out and swings a Giga Drain, putting Bugbear in the danger zone, but Sunkern can't tank a 160 power Fury Cutter.
Now, once more with feeling, Katie lets loose her fearsome Nimble, and we, our valiant Sunkern.
Yeah, one more time. Well, we're still at level 25 because I have a strategy that I know can work if I don't pull a right old dum-dum. We Giga Drain, she struggle bugs, we Giga Drain. Same old song and dance. You, as well as I know, Nimble isn't why we're here. Nimble falls, and we're almost at full HP as we swap to our reserve Sunkern, allowing those nasty stat drops to be restored. Sunkern Omega comes out, and we immediately terastalize and go for a powered-up Giga... Razor Leaf? What is this? I'm sorry, guys. I thought you deserved to see a victory battle after seeing me fail so many attempts. We go for Razor Leaf, Katie goes for Bug Bite, and we land another Razor Leaf. A critical hit Bug Bite put Sunkern in the red zone, but we managed to finish Tarantula with one more Razor Leaf. What could I possibly be thinking? Well, I guess we'll just play this one out and see how it goes. And now the bear, the bith, the legend, Katie sends out her non-bug bear buddy and begins bugifying immediately. We land Endeavor, matching Teddy Ursa's HP to our own, and are taken down by a Fury Cutter. But that's okay. We have our now fully stat-restored Sunkern Alpha coming out, and all it has to do is outspeed and hit with Giga Drain. We do exactly that, and Katie is no more. These are the types of strategies that I find myself really enjoying, and they just don't work in solo runs. But man, it took to level 25 to pull it off. I can see some hurdles down the road for sure. Anyways, Katie gives us badge number 3 and our second for Victory Road. And a TM we can't use. Neat. After that, we get to meet a familiar face. Did you think it was this guy? Me neither. There he goes. What a strange, handsome fellow. We head to Levencia, home of the third gym, and hey, that's who I thought we'd be meeting. Battle buddy, local stalker turned badge blocker, Nimona wears many hats. She foists a battle upon us, and we take it outside. Giving us a glimpse of our soon-to-be gym prison, Nimona expositions all over the place. About right and wrong, life and death, good and evil, fries or tots, or whatever, and sends out a Rockruff, a rock type. Finally, something that doesn't wall Sunkern completely. Rockruff outspeeds and uses Rock Throw, doing about half. We do massive damage with Giga Drain healing to full. Rockruff shakes it side to side, raising evasiveness. But like water off a duck's back, thought-type behavior doesn't affect Sunkern. Giga Drain strikes true, putting that dog down. Palmy comes out, and it's an electric fighting Pokemon, something else that doesn't immediately destroy us. I'm liking this more and more. We take this time to terastalize the way no other Sunkern has before, and we swing one Giga Drain and then a second Giga Drain after surviving a minimal damage from a bite to skate past an otherwise unimpressive display shown to us by New Pikachu. So, I guess fun fact, Nimona chooses Sprigatito at the start of the game because I picked the bitey boy Fuecoco. She will always pick what is weak to your choice. If I wanted consistency, I could have easily picked Sprigatito, forcing her to choose the water-type Quaxley. But I pulled what the ancient Mayans refer to as a big dum-dum maneuver, so now we're stuck fighting Florigato, who just outsped us and critical hit with Bite. Lovely. We can heal a token amount back with Giga Drain, but this is real bad. You can actually see the cog wheels turning in my brain, and let me tell you, the mouse has fallen off and rolled away. We had so much momentum getting up to her ace, but get pretty walled here. Sunkern 2 comes out, but there's not a lot it can do. Both defensively and offensively, Sunkern is outmatched. And Florigato has the audacity to use Honed Claws to buff itself even more, as if it needed it. And with a beefed up bite, Sunkern is toast. This second fight with the Mona is lost, and very fortunately, it's another exhibition match and we don't actually need to win here. She gets us a set of full heals and some Gen Z words of encouragement to get good, kid. With that, she parts, and we head to Levincia City Gym to try our luck there. But before we can take on the gym leader, we've got another gym test to do, and I gotta say, these have become the most relaxing parts of this entire affair. Can't we just do minigames forever? No, we can't. But for now, we get to play a game of Where's Waldo, where Waldo wears the face of Director Clavel. You see, Ayano is putting on a live stream because it appeals to me, the player. The premise of the stream is simple. We play a round of Where's Mr. Walksabout, and then we beat up one of her Twitch subs. Now, ordinarily, I would show a couple of battles, especially if they were a part of a gym test. But honestly, they were pretty unremarkable and not all that fun to narrate. I mean, they are electric types, and we do resist. That being said, we still lost to Sunkern to the first gym trainer's Luxio. That was more due to Sunkern being, well, Sunkern than it was to any real challenge. After fighting Ayano's mods twice and locating Granddad and the Tractor Supply thrice, we face off against Teonically Cronline Ayano. This is a good time to reiterate, I don't really look up teams before I take on battles for the first time. I mean, it's not a Nuzlocke, so whatever, right? Stakes are low. Lose and learn. I have battled Ayano before. I have spent more time in Pokemon Violet than any reasonable human being should. I do not remember ever struggling against Watrel. Maybe I never even saw it use a move, but it one-shots us with Pluck. This is rough. Sunkern 2 comes out and can tank a single Pluck, which is better than nothing, I suppose. But we lose because even though Watrel doesn't look like much, he's really fast. Okay, so we're going to have to level up. And whilst traveling around and leveling up and being a general nuisance, what do we find? Oh, a full odds 1 in 4096 shiny Mastiff. That's pretty neat. And there it goes. Okay, let's get back on track after that mischievous distraction. Nah, man, edit that out. Ugh. Anyways, we may not need to level up if we use Endeavor strats. We set up Endeavor and tank the first Pluck, dealing it right back. Sunkern 1 gets KO'd on the next attack, and that's fine. We kinda saw that coming a mile away. Sunkern 2 comes out, and we terrastalize immediately. And if we can tank just one Pluck, we might have a game. Unfortunately for my time and yours, we cannot tank that Pluck. Not at this level. We need to level up some more, or come up with a new strategy. Oh look, a shiny! And there I go. Okay, my absurd shiny luck aside, we do get actual leveling done before we try again. At this point, I mostly found it best to hang out in the Asada Desert and battle Phanpy and Silicobra. Stonejoiners were also a bit of a target, but they were much more of a threat, kinda like the Dawn fans that were wandering around chaperoning the Phanpy. This gets us to level 30. And as you may well notice, at level 30 the strategy is much the same. We're still using Endeavor, and we are able to get Watrel down a little lower with this strat, owing to our higher stats. Our second Sunkern can also tank a Pluck now, at least once, allowing us to terrastalize and set up a Giga Drain, getting us past the Watrel. Man, that took a lot of effort, but we did it. It's all downhill from here on out, for us that is. Luxio comes out and uses Intimidation, knocking down our attack, then bites, knocking down our everything else. That sucks a lot. However, that being said, it is progress, and to continue that progress, it's time we got back to training. We head back to the Asado Desert to continue that gauntlet of gains, and what do we find? You guessed it, we find another shiny. I'm kidding. We actually find two shinies. Two full odds, same Pokemon, same screen shinies. And I cannot begin to calculate for you how uncommon that is. So after buying a few scratch-off tickets, I decided that at my current level, I am not getting anywhere with Ayano. I decided to go elsewhere, and we get bowled over by Long John Santa Claus. In his haste to skip out on the check, Kofu leaves his wallet behind, and so begins our fourth gym test, a cross-country sprint, to return it to him and certainly not take $60 from it. In the world that has a literal flying taxi service and even Pokemon bicycles, our man Kofu barrels through open countryside and through the desert. Man's built like a fridge, but that won't stop him. In a weird way, it's kind of respectable. We meet up with Kofu in the market of something town, whose only relevance is this gym test, and we hand him his wallet back. Just kidding, before we can do a good deed that we're indeed doing for free as far as any third parties are concerned, Kofu's bodyguard? Stepson? Some guy named Hugo decides we'd be a lot cooler if he beat us up. Hugo does indeed beat up my first Sunkern with 2 bites with a flinch in the middle, wasting our terastallization. Sunkern number 2 comes out and we used Bullet Seed, totally for the memes and not because my brain was playing elevator music at the time. And we eventually finish Floats Aloft with the correct move, Giga Drain, healing a little bit of HP in the process. Clauncher comes out next and is a pretty slow Pokemon, but don't you worry, we're still slower and take a smackdown for our efforts. I select Giga Drain, bracing for another smackdown, and hoping for no crit. And oh, that's interesting, it's actually a speed type. And with that, Clauncher is defeated, Hugo gets sad, and we can finally give Kofu his wallet back. Wait, what is he looking at? Wait, is this what you came here for? Oh, it was under the belly. And now the real gym test begins. The other parts were just a prelude. Love that. We have to bid on the belly button fungus. We bid really high, which shocks the other participants into submission, allowing us to claim the under-tummy truffles. Meeting up with Kofu, he allows us to keep what we didn't spend at the auction plus $60 and departs with Hugo and his newly acquired portly fellow Portobellos. Okay, at this point we've yet to beat Iono, and mind you, it's been more than half a dozen attempts. But let's try our hand at Kofu. His Pokemon are higher level than Iono's, but we're not just resistant to his typing, we're super effective to it too. Kofu, like any other trainer who doesn't respect our time, starts his battle off with a cutscene full to the brim of exposition. While he steals the crowd, I'd like to reiterate a point I made earlier. I do not scout these battles first. I haven't seen this battle in almost 2 years, and my only frame of reference is that it will be a water type. And it is the water psychic type, Veluza. Very fast, but what can it do against a grass type? We terastallize and prepare to use our powered up Giga Drain. And brace for Pluck? No shot. Not only does it one-shot me with a flying type move, but it's the same move that Iono's Wattrel has been bullying us with relentlessly. I pull out my second Sunkern and it tanks a Pluck, does get off a Giga Drain, but Veluza is just going to Pluck again and destroy us. And guys, I don't really know what my options are right now. I guess we just level up? We try again just 1 level higher at level 36. Not much of a difference, but I wanted to try Endeavor before we ran off and over-leveled. We knock it down to the red zone, after which Sunkern 1 succumbs to another Pluck. You can probably see the strategy here, as this one we've used on Iono. Sunkern 2 is up, and we immediately terastallize. We tank 1 more Pluck, which we should always do now unless Veluza gets an unlucky critical, and finish off Veluza with a Giga Drain. Then, in an eerily similar outcome, Kofu sends out Wugtrio, which outspeeds and KOs with a physical attack that has a chance to flinch. This time it's Headbutt instead of Bite though. We try a couple more times at level 36 and lose in very similar, if not the exact same ways. Now we're level 38. Endeavor Strat still coming in hot, we knock it down to KO range, and friendship triggers? That's wild, but I'll take all the luck I can get. I use Endeavor a second time instead of Giga Drain. I wasn't expecting Sunkern to live, okay? And Focus Band triggers? Oh, okay, this might be the run. We Giga Drain and gain 1 HP back, alright, and we KO Veluza with 2 functioning Sunkern. I opt not to swap out my barely there Sunkern, choosing to capitalize on whatever anime protagonist juju he is currently huffing. Wugtrio uses Headbutt, and tragically, Plot Armor fails. But Sunkern number 2 is up, Terastallization has not been used, and most importantly, Sunkern 2 is starting at full HP. We terastallize because of course we do. We select our beefed up Giga Drain and prepare for a Headbutt coming our way. We tank it, nearly KO Wugtrio with our Giga Drain, and nearly heal fully in the process. I can see the wheels turning as I select a move here. We've yet to get this far, and I decide on Giga Drain, and Quick Claw activates. We get to go first, and we heal to full for Kofu's last Pokemon. This is the best case scenario. A lot had to go right in this fight for us to get this far, and a lot that went right was dumb luck. And in Sunkern's case, I'm okay with that. Out comes Kofu's ace, Crabominable, a dual ice and fighting type with some serious attack power. Kofu terastallizes Crabominable to the water type, and Crabominable uses Slam. We manage to tank one and follow up with a Giga Drain and heal back some of that damage. But Crab Guy outspeeds us and slams us again. After all of that undeserved luck, we still lost. That sucks, but let's plow ahead. We still have some things on the back burner we have to get to. When last we faced off against Ayano, we were a significantly lower level, and strategies have changed. We're not endeavoring anymore. At now 15 levels higher, we can go on the offensive. We can one-hit with Double Edge. We go ahead and swap out Sunkern 1 for our Sunkern with full health as she brings out Luxio. Holding off on terastallizing for now, we outspeed with a Quick Claw activation and then swing an Earth Power at Luxio, which almost knocks it out. We get flinched by Bite, allowing Luxio an extra attack, but we KO with Giga Drain. Bellabolt comes out and we hit it with Giga Drain. Metaphorically shocking, I know. This triggers Electromorphosis, boosting the power of the incoming spark. It doesn't do much damage, but it does paralyze. Actually shocking. Sunkern can't shake the full paralysis and takes a water gun for his valiancy. And with that, Sunkern 2 falls, but we're not out quite yet. Sunkern 1 comes back out and it's now or never. We terastallize. Sunkern Alpha, being the perfect being of power and agility that it is, outspeeds Bella Buddy and uses Giga Drain. Boosted Spark does damage but doesn't paralyze, and Bellabolt is knocked out to our second Giga Drain. With the fall of Bellabolt, it's time for Ayano's Big Bad. Her ace comes in the form of Miss Magius, a mono ghost type with base 105 special attack, defense, and speed. Stats I can only dream of. She turns it into a light bulb and we get confused. That is a rough start. We do what we do best and use Giga Drain. It's not doing a lot owing to this thing's special defense, but it heals us enough to tank her Hex. We lay into it one more time with another Giga Drain and ooh, a critical hit. That is really good. Focus Band pops off, tanking a Hex at 1 HP because we have the power of God and anime on our side, and we finish this fight with one final Giga Drain. When I was first thinking about making this video, I did not envision Ayano, the electric type user, being the worst challenge in the run. But yeah, guys, it's all sunshine and sugar-free applesauce from this point on. Right. Yeah. It gets so much worse. But for the moment, we are victorious, and we are awarded the 4th task medal thing and our 3rd badge for the Victory Road subquest. Leaving what has been my mental prison now for the past 10 hours, we bump into a well-dressed woman who's tall, tan, and loves to ask personal questions. Her name, we learn, is Gita. Still riding the high from our fresh victory against Ayano, we jump back into Kofu. You know the routine, Heavalooza, we Sunkern. This time we start with a Seed Bomb since this Sunkern has higher physical attack, and we land a crit. Nice, 1 down. We're hit and damaged a little bit by Sandstorm, and Kofu send out Hemwug Trio. And Hemwug Trio Headbutt, knocking out Sunkern number 1. We send out our special attacking Sunkern, who's got a shiny new item, the Metronome, which makes consecutive hits with the same move more powerful. And we started blasting. Sending a beefed up Giga Drain at Wug Trio, we one-shot, which we were already pretty close to doing, but that heals us to full. Sandstorm is still active due to our proximity to the desert, so we take some chip damage, whilst Kofu menaces us with Big Crab. Kofu will terastallize, turning Big Crab into Big Wet Crab, and we're off. We get outsped, but Big Crab misses with a slam. That's huge. We Giga Drain, which, thanks to Metronome, now is 20% stronger. Both Sunkern and Kerbigli take chip damage from the Sandstorm, and then we tank a slam like a champ, following up with a 40% stronger Giga Drain to finally win against Kofu, the Water-type user. And if you thought the battle with the Water-type wielding Kofu was bad, think again. No, I'm not being facetious, I really mean it. Think again. Because after Kofu hands us our victory badge and congratulates us on a well-deserved win, our game crashes. Yeah. Et tu, Game Freak? The autosave restoration point was immediately before we take on Kofu, so here we are again. And I realized we got lucky during the first win, so we're switching strategies and we're 2 levels higher at 41. We set up a grassy terrain which heals everyone on the field, but also buffs grass moves by 50%. Of course, our setup Sunkern is KO'd, but out comes Sunkern number 2 and we ready the Giga Drain onslaught. We one-shot the Veluza and Grassy Terrain heals us almost to full. Wugtrio comes out, and thanks to Metronome and Grassy Terrain, we one-shot the Wugtrio, fully healing the damage we take from Headbutt. And for the fourth and final time, Kofu casts Crab. But unlike the previous Crab cast and Prom Night, we're prepared for this Crab. He becomes the water-only Crabominable, and we one-shot with a super-powered Giga Drain. So after KOing Kofu for the second time now, we managed to get our badge and even keep it for longer than 10 seconds by saving the game after the exposition. With our newly acquired fourth badge and fortified will to live, we get jumped by a friendly face, Nemona. She continues dutifully stalking us. I wonder if she saw us beat Kofu twice. After she flees, we head to Modali, home of gym test number 5. This test requires us to order a sandwich, the contents of which are hidden around Modali, kept secret by 4 people. The order is not random and never changes, so I didn't need to do much, as I remembered, and totally didn't look it up, and it's definitely grilled rice balls, medium serving, extra crispy, fire blast style, with lemon. That's right, me. Good job. Gym test passed. After that, we're introduced to the true antagonist, Larry. Larry is all of us that grew up with Generation 1. He's older now, well-dressed, and totally over it. He doesn't feel the need to feign enthusiasm for a job that he quiet quits every single day. That job? Hitting Sunkern with a crowbar like it owes him money. And he must be knee-deep in overtime because he's wildly over quota for Sunkern punting this month. Larry starts out with Komala, who yawns, meaning Sunkern will fall asleep next turn. We use Grassy Terrain to set up, and he slams us, giving Sunkern the big sleep. Didn't even need the yawn. Time for Sunkern number 2, and we're going to go ahead and terrestrialize and capitalize on the Grassy Terrain with Giga Drain, and hopefully this will do a lot of damage. Nope, he outspeeds and slams. It did a lot of damage, though. So that's Larry, and I'm in trouble. At this point, it was very obvious that it's not going to happen at level 41, so let's pivot and go do some other tasks for now. We start by taking on a Team Star base and meet a How Do You Do Fellow Kids meme who tells us a bit of backstory about the ne'er-do-wells within the walls and their propensity for using Dark-type Pokemon. For each Timu Rocket base that you assault, you must first flush out the boss by auto-battling 30 Grunts Pokemon in 10 minutes. You also need to have at least 3 Pokemon in your party to do this, so I caught a level 4 Sunkern. Sue me. This part is honestly really boring, but it's technically like the gym test, so I kept it in. And even 20 levels above these dark types, we still have to use the vending machines to heal, which I did not know about because I'd never needed them until I used Sunkern. Isn't that just so wonderful? 42 minutes in and we're still learning things. Thanks, Sunkern. After that awe-inspiring performance, a wild mini-boss of the bad guys appears on his choice chariot, a pimp-my-ratted Revavroom. Meet Giacomo, an all-time dealer of darkness, and at level 41, we might for once have a fight go our way. The man whose name I don't think I butchered starts off with Poniard, a dual dark steel type, so that does resist, but really I don't think it'll matter too much. We actually outspeed something for the first time in life and set up a Grassy Terrain. We're hit by an aerial ace, which would have offended me if we were the appropriate level. I struggle on determining whether or not I want to use terrestrialization on this thing and ultimately decide, nah, it's not worth it. And I think it would have one hit if we did. It still does massive damage thanks to the terrain. Well over half, actually. We take another aerial ace and follow up with one more Giga Drain, ultimately defeating Poniard. Beetlejuice withdraws Poniard and sends out a 1973 Ford Pinto, I guess? I mean, Revavroom was already out, but anyways, now we're fighting a car? The battle starts with Sunkern getting intimidated, and I get it, Pintos scare me too. We're outsped, but at least this time it's by something that makes sense, and we take a Wicked Torque, which sounds metal AF. I use Seed Bomb that does solid damage even after the car honked at me. Speaking of sounding metal, we take a metal sound, lowering our SPDF significantly, and our Giga Drain deals a ton of damage, allowing us to heal from the Wicked Torque. Grassy Terrain does its thing, healing Sunkern and repairing the car for free. You're welcome. He snarls at us, leaving our special attack lowered. Wow, no manners. We follow with a Giga Drain, still dealing solid damage. The terrain finally dissipates, teaching us that nothing good ever lasts. We dodge a snarl, but it's the intention that hurts most, and land another Giga Drain, healing us slightly. At this point, it's only a matter of time, and wow, DJ Khaled lands another snarl, weakening us further. Absolutely no home training. After one more Giga Drain, just kidding, I counted 3 flat tires, not 4, one final hissy fit from the car, and better call a body shop as my final Giga Drain hits home. And wow, our first try win. And that's enough speed reading for me just now. G-Man gives us a strongly worded email in the form of a flashback. Oh god, no. And we get to see the heads of the other branches of Team Star. They wax philosophically in my expositional nightmare for what seems like an ungodly amount of time, and we are eventually awarded the Starfall badge for defeating Jock Mamano. Oh wait, that doesn't seem right. After a resounding victory against Team Star, I want some more wins. We head to the desert to take on the long ago Dawn fan, Great Tusk. He's mono ground type, so here's hoping things go smoothly. He rapid spins and almost murders us in one hit. We set up with grassy terrain, and that's it for Sunkern 1. Wow. And every time it uses rapid spin, his speed goes up. So, and I know this is wild to think about, we don't outspeed. Sunkern 2 comes out and we terrestrialize, because it's the only thing that brings Sunkern any joy at all. And he gets knocked out by knockoff. Wow. I guess this won't be the win I'm looking for right now. What about Larry? Nope. Okay, so not the Earth Titan and not the normal badge. What can we do now? I guess we've got Earth Power, basically budget Earthquake. Let's give the Steel Titan a try. Meet Earthworm. As he looks at me, I look at him. He looks at me and I look at him looking at me. And that damn smile. Earthworm flexes his little wibbly-wobblies and battle commences. Sunkern with the Earth Power is out now, and now out due to a crit from Irontail. Well then, that's not good. But Sunkern 2 just dropped and doesn't immediately get its taters totted, only being hit by Rap. We set up grassy terrain and take residual Rap damage, survive an incoming Irontail. It does about half without the crit, but with healing and the terrain, that's okay. Is what I would say if I were smart and used Giga Drain. But after admittedly solid damage from a not very effective Seed Bomb, at now well below half health thanks to chip damage from Rap, it's time to terrestrialize. As we take an Irontail on the chin and survive by the skin of our teeth, as Pokemon Stadium's battle announcer would say, our souped up Giga Drain does massive damage, healing us some, but too little too late. Wigglin' Johnny beats us this time. Wigglin' Johnny goes back to his literal dirt nap, and I think we can definitely beat this guy with smarter play and less bad luck. But for now, let's continue sampling all of what Paldea has to offer, this time to the tune of another member of Team Star. We meet up once more with MC Granddad, who gives us the lowdown on those blasted kids that just won't stay off of his lawn. Pops then has a few hundred dozen choice words about how this generation wears their pants backwards and their hats too low. We're eventually joined by a child in a costume. Wait, what? That's a Pokemon? No, that's a guy. Alright, we're eventually joined by a Charcadet named Charlos. What? Did I write this? Charlos sprints away from Clive like we all wish we could, leaving us to our own devices and Cassiopeia. And just like with Giacomo and his Team Star base, we have to beat 30 Fire-type trainers in auto-battling in 10 minutes. We'll also need our third wheel Sunkern, so get in here, little buddy. Besides now having to heal every 2 or 3 battles, this played out exactly the same as the first star base, so we're going to speed things up. After 3 minutes of microwaving my Sunkern, it's out of the oven and into the car? Does everybody get a car? How old are these kids? Meet Boots. She likes fire. Boots, aka Mila, begins the battle by screaming at the sky and sending out her Torkoal. Torkoal's ability Drought will set up a harsh sunlight. Drought is basically the move Sunny Day, but in ability form, and will cause all Fire-type moves to be 50% stronger until it dissipates. Ergo, Flame Wheel nearly one-hits even though we're 20 levels higher. We do manage to outspeed with Earth Power owing to the fact that Torkoal is one of the slowest Pokemon. Borderlands 2's Lilith uses this time to cast 2002 Pontiac Firebird. A niche spell for sure, but one with immediate wow factor. Using Overheat, she KOs Sunkern 1 but drops Revorume's special attack by a lot. Sunkern 2 comes out and you can see me struggling to pick a move. He takes a fender to the face for my indecision, and oh, was it a crit? Yeah, I bet it was. I knock myself out with Double Edge because I didn't want to give Mila the satisfaction, and that's the battle. Sunkern number 3 can't do much, and even if it could, I can't really use it in this challenge. The base assault portions require 3 Pokemon, so I erroneously thought the leader fights would as well. We try Mila multiple times and eventually move on. We'll be back, just not at level 47. But we're running out of real estate here. We gotta start getting wins, and we gotta start soon. Well, hello there, wacky waving and flavor alarm flailing tube man. How are you? Back at it again with Earthworm Jim. We were pretty close last time, and without succumbing to a lucky or unlucky crit, we might have won on the first try. We ready our discount Earthquake, and he eats it, literally, for lunch. Damn, Billy. With my strategy unceremoniously thrown out of the window, I use Protect for reasons, and then remember the amount of damage Giga Drain was doing, and do that instead. Terastallization, where would I be without thee? My heart, my muse. It is important to realize that Earthworm's special defense is its lowest stat. Relax, it's not Sunkern low, but it is low enough to allow us to two-shot after terastallizing, even though it's not very effective. And with that, Phase 1 ends, allowing us to see extremely high-quality animations and editing. After we witness all the crimes he could commit in 10 seconds, our man knows it's time. Time for what? This. What's this? I'm not old enough to know, but I'm told it's expensive. Hey, Arvin. Controlled Substance McGee goes all Kaioken times 0.35, and thus, Phase 2 begins. Less Cool Steelix starts off with an Iron Tail and hits everything but its target. We set up grassy terrain while Toad School confuses Earthworm. What a Toad School thing to do. You can't fire me, I don't work here. We absorb a headbutt like a punishment pro, and Toad School lands a grass knot for major damage. We Giga Drain and heal up from headbutt, and do pretty solid damage ourselves. Although confused, Wormageddon lands another headbutt, red barring Toad School and ignoring us. With one more grass knot followed by our Giga Drain, we actually won one. Arvin has one of his well-known and highly publicized laughing fits, no need to mention it, and we head inside to the Cave of Many Unknown Things, currently housing one very known thing in limited quantity. I'm told it's expensive. Arvin does an off-screen batch of brownie baking, and we're awarded with the Steel Titan Completion Badge. Dino Dogbite comes out and wolfs down our whole share of good times. This unlocks something deep within his psyche, which manifests as a new bike ability. He then continues to party foul, setting his sight on Arvin's. Arvin says don't. Bike listens, good bike. Arvin casts Sick Sad Old Dog. It is incredibly effective. Turns out Sick Sad Old Dog, SSOD for short, will maybe get better if we make a lot more brownies. And with Arvin's words and a now more important goal than making my bike faster, we set off to retry the Ground Titan. Run It Up Don fan Phase 1 went great, but the footage was split down the middle and flipped 180 degrees, so go ahead and imagine how cool we were, including requisite laser noises. But be quick about it, we've got a show to do here. Alright, time's up. We terastallize immediately, Scovillain takes a brick break and counters with Scary Face, and eventually we get to use Giga Drain. Now faster Scovillain uses Razor Leaf, takes a brick break and faints, and eventually we get to use Giga Drain. We set up Protect for reasons unknown, allowing us to take no damage from Rapid Spin, a 50 power move. On the subsequent turn, we take full damage from Knockoff, a 65 power move, but we survive and send out one last Giga Drain and down the Dawn Fan. Is this the fabled winning streak? This feels like the fabled winning streak. Arvin escorts us down to his deep desert dispensary, where we rudely interrupt the Herba Mystica just doing its own thing. We take some, all of it, and we're gifted the Ground Titan Completionist Badge. Arvin begins preparing the stuff, and before any wise guys show up to ask questions about legality and pharmaceutical certifications, we feed our respective doggo. After eating his third mystical herb sandwich, SSOD regains the strength to playfully bark, as well as the behavioral reinforcement to eat things that don't belong to him. With now the third Titan taken down, we head to Titan number 4, the Titan of Flightin', Bombardier. Bombardier outspeeds using Rock Throw, as Sunkern kindly decides to go second. I decide that Earth Power works better the third time you use it. Pretty sure I was distracted by a video or something. Turn 4, we go for a powered up Giga Drain with Terastallization, and die to our hubris. This is that cool Dolo strategy I was talking about. Sunkern 2 comes out, and we decide to dumb significantly less this time around and give him the old 1-2 Giga Drain Seed Bomb Deluxe. Really rolls off the tongue there. And lo, Phase 1 of the Titan 4 fight is over. Phase 2 starts the way every Phase 2 starts, with major terraforming, minor concussions, and Arvin. Hey Arvin. Bird gobbles up the goodies and goes all hat backwards. Let's do this. Arvin's choice for this match is his Knackley. Of course, we're going to use our very best this Sunkern we have. We kick things off by terastallizing and outspeeding something, anything, and set up a grassy terrain. Knackley decides now is a good time to get hit by rocks and to wax his own. We swing a Giga Drain for massive damage, and Knackley takes a wing attack, and yep, better shine these rocks again. Knackley now outspeeds us all at +4 speed, but it's just not enough. Once more for good measure. We'd Giga Drain one more time, ending the encounter. Thanks for everything, Knackley. After pressing the A button a few too many times, Arvin escorts us to the glowing green goodness, and we make a Slammin' Sammy. We're awarded with the Flying Titan Completion Badge. Everybody eats a sandwich, and both dogs get stronger in their own respective ways. Look, I can only commentate the same cutscene in so many different contexts. Let's just call it a victory and move on to Titan Fight number 5. Tatsugiri starts with, oh! Okay. Dondozo used Swallow, and we're off. This quote-unquote dragon fight just became a water fight. Easy mode activated. We terastallize, and Dondozo, like the Indiana Jones boulder rolling down a hill, outspeeds and uses Squish. It is marginally effective. Sunkern number 2, having just witnessed that, comes out and gives me the side-eye. We absorb a water pulse and get confused. Seed Bomb lands, doing about an 8th. Aquatail hits, leaving us in the highway to the danger zone, and like Finals Week, confusion sets in, causing massive emotional damage. Okay, but what about Larry? Nope. I have tried Larry about a dozen times, and at level 57, his fight is still a struggle. To varying degrees of success, we've failed every single one. But you know who we haven't failed against at level 57? Mila. Mila starts out this well-rehearsed dumpster fire the only way she knows how, with Torkoal. Torkoal turns on the daytime, and we one-shot with Earth Power. Next up is Firecar, Revavroom. Firecar uses Screech instead of a Fire-type move, and we do over half. Nice. FC uses Blazing Torque, and there it is. We get one shot. Even at level 57, we're not surviving a Blazing Torque when our defense is that low. Sunkern 2 3D coming to a battlefield near you comes out, and we terastallize while readying a Seed Bomb. We get Screeched, lowering our defense significantly, and we hit with Seed Bomb, and dang, this was a close one. We take a Blazing Torque. Another Screech? Okay, what? Okay, I guess we win, because our Giga Drain will KO. Thanks, AI decision making. I'll certainly take it. Maybe she felt sorry for us. Maybe it was time for her shift to be over. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know, and I don't care. I've said it before. We need all the help we can get. Mela flashback montage time, and then we're granted the Team Star Fire badge. After a stern talking to with Clive, or whatever, Charlos, the kid playing dress-up, or whatever, reunites with Mila, and we are witness to a heartwarming moment. Get it? Heartwarming? 'Cause fire? Yeah. Alright, time to switch gears again and head back to a gym. But it's not Larry. We've got our sights set on another town entirely. Montenevera. Ghost Town. Our gym test here is the most true-to-form gym test we've had so far. Just a series of double battles. Trainer 1, somebody's kid, shows up with a Grievard and Shuppet versus Sunkern and taller Sunkern, who tag-team the Grievard with Giga Drain. Less tall but still okay Sunkern takes a Shadow Ball and treats Shuppet the same way. Poorly. And that's it for somebody's kid. And after each match, our arena turns stage, or vice versa, gets cooler and more appealing to mods. Also of note, certain actions cause the crowd to cheer, giving one, some, or all stats a boost. Denim on Denim take the stage, and it's Misdreavus and Haunter versus Wingus and Sir Dingus Esquire, who again choose the better path in life, and double Giga Drain, which, thanks to its Pain Split and Haunter's Hex damage, is enough to KO Misdreavus. Following suit and doing nothing new, a double Giga Drain is all that's needed to KO Haunter, but not before we take some spicy Hex damage. Denim Squared recalls her defeated Haunter, and that's Battle 2 done. The arena gains a new spooky color scheme, and the guy that sells you Prime Herba Mystica behind the park bathroom wants these hands as well. This time, hands manifest in the form of Driftblim and Sableye versus Erythrador the Destroyer and Greg. Tried and true methodology of 2 Giga Drains being better than 1 Giga Drain, we swing at Sableye first, anticipating the walling that Driftblim sets up. With Sableye down and the crowd jazzed up, we set our sights on Driftblim, who stockpiles again, raising his special defense and regular defense. And wow, my Giga Drains do nothing. This is going to take a while. Or not. Like some other famous blimp tragedy, Driftblim explodes, ending our last pre-leader gym test battle, and lighting the battle stage in earnest. With our gym test concluded and the stage now deemed worthy of some crowd show-out, we're introduced to Rhyme and make our way to the arena where Thesaurus the Kid tries to slap some lines down, but weenies out halfway through and runs just off-screen where his cool guy car is undoubtedly awaiting him. Rhyme asks us bars or battles, and I choose the wise answer as I don't have a cool guy car idling stage left. Must have left the keys to the Bentley with my other Sunkern. Rhyme starts out with Mimikyu and Banette versus Was the Best of Times and It. We're going to terrastalize immediately, and I think we tag team Banette here. Mimikyu's going to outspeed everybody and use Slash, followed by Banette's Icy Wind. Okay, feeling pretty good about Giga Draining Banette out of the gate. Getting rid of something that can hit everybody with a super effective move, pretty good. Banette falls to a volley of Giga Drains, and out comes Houndstone. The crowd cheers for our terrastalization, giving both of my Sunkerns an Omni Boost, and I won't say no to that. We ready a second volley of Giga Drains, and Mimikyu hits with Slash, again outspeeding, doing some chip damage. Houndstone uses Phantom Force, vanishing and causing both Sunkern to get docked in pay. The crowd gives them a speed boost, but Mimikyu still outspeeds and doesn't miss with Slash. We use one Giga Drain to break Mimikyu's disguise and the second to deal heavy damage, but Houndstone attacks from the shadows, ending Sunkern 2's career. Now, this is a double battle, and we've only got one Sunkern left versus at least two Pokemon with full health. I guess technically a Mimikyu too, but we're going to knock it out pretty quickly. But what Rhyme doesn't know is that we're supercharged from the crowd, terrastalized, and Sunkern's holding the metronome, and we've only used Giga Drain. Rhyme sends out Toxtricity, a poison electric type, and we ready our continued gauntlet of Giga Drains. She'll terrastalize to the Ghost type, which is a nod to the Ghost from Pokemon Tower from Generation 1. Toxtricity outspeeds and lands a Haymaker, but then so do we, and we one-shot Toxtricity. Gaining most of that health back, we self-scope Toxtricity back to the afterlife, and we have only Houndstone to worry about. We easily survive its Phantom Force and use our boosted beyond belief Giga Drain to one-shot it as well. And with that, albeit with some added oomph from the audience, we can claim our first try victory against the gym leader. We're given our 5th gym badge for Victory Road and some Shadow Ball TMs. Thanks. With now 5 gym badges out of the way, we have to do it eventually. We'll have to face Larry. And I think it's coming up sooner rather than later. But for now, we've just stepped in something. Oh hey, Nemona. What? Battle? Okay. Nemona_rival_battle5.mkv starts out with a nice Bob Seger song, and we with Sunkern, who we will terrastalize immediately and start Giga Draining.
Like an
Starts with Rock-type Quick Attack, and we one-shot with Giga Drain. No surprises there. Lycan Rock is withdrawn, and we're on a roll. Out comes Gumi, and we ready our second Giga Drain, and it drinks it with Sap Sipper. I pivot to Earth Power, doing about half because the goopy purple thing isn't a poison type, why would it be? And after a second Earth Power, Gumi goes down as well. Next up, Nemona sends out Palmy, and I bet it doesn't sip sap. Nope, it outspeeds and sparks though, but we survived one shot and heal back well over half health. And it's about that time. The bane of my existence and the Larry of Nemona's Pokemon, Meowscarada comes calling and is immediately terrastalized. It outspeeds and slashes us, and of course it gets a critical. We pee our pants just a little bit, and Giga Drain doing about a third. We heal enough that we might survive a non-crit attack. Flower Trick will always crit, and it bypasses accuracy checks to always hit. Okay, my bad. Sunkern 2, you're up. Sunkern 2 gets hit with a Slash, which of course crits, and we swing a Double Edge, dealing solid damage. We take a Flower Trick and hit with Double Edge, KOing Meowscarada, but also ourselves. The game treats this as a loss, even though Meowscarada faints first. But screw that. You can take your dirty money, I beat you. A cutscene plays out in which it's implied heavily that I didn't beat her, and something something become the champion, something something retire at 42 and put all your money into timeshares. I don't know what was said, but I know what wasn't said. Good job. Nimona runs off on her way to interrupt us later on, and Gita Gitas mysteriously, and the encounter ends. But what about Larry? Well, what about Larry? We're about 25 levels higher than him now and still struggling. He starts with his Kamala as always, and we tank Slam pretty well now. We set up our grassy terrain and Kamala uses Yawn. We get off a Giga Drain and heal some of that damage back. Just like with reverting stat changes, you can stop drowsiness from becoming sleep by swapping out Pokemon. We do just that and take another Yawn? Okay, did he know? Alright. Kamala outspeeds and we take another Yawn? Okay, he didn't know. We KO with Giga Drain. The Dunsparce comes out, and with Sunkern being Sunkern, out back taking a nap that is, goes for Hyper Drill. Doing well over half, that's not good. We decide to roll the dice and wake up in time to outspeed and Giga Drain, healing enough to take a second Hyper Drill and finish it off by outspeeding with another Giga Drain. With that, it's time for Larry's Ace. I have yet to beat Larry's Ace Staraptor, even though it's 24 levels lower than us. Well over a dozen tries have pushed us to level 60, a higher level than I ever imagined, especially against Larry. But with the arena set and the audience here, let's see how it goes. Larry begins by terastallizing Staraptor to the normal type, the first Pokemon to already be the type that it is terastallizing into that we've seen. Landing an Aerial Ace, Larry's Larry knocks out Sunkern too. Can you see how this could be a struggle? Sunkern OG comes out fully rested and no longer drowsy, and it's time. We terastallize. We've saved it until now, and now is the time. We tank an Aerial Ace and land a Giga Drain. It heals us enough to tank one more Aerial Ace, and Staraptor goes down with one final Giga Drain. I did it. We did it. The final boss, the antagonist, defeated. Unless? No. No, Larry is not the end of our journey. He is, however, an enormous milestone, and due to him being the 6th gym leader that we defeated, he is also indirectly the cause of our Sunkern growing much stronger. So, let's talk about hypertraining. Hypertraining boosts a Pokemon stats IVs to the maximum value, and is available in Scarlet and Violet as early as level 50. However, it costs bottle caps, 1 per stat boosted. Bottle caps are uncommon rewards from higher level Terra Raid battles, and have a few ways to be obtained in the DLCs. But at 6 gem badges, they become purchasable in-game from Delibird presents at 20,000 Pokédollars each. So, they're really expensive, but a little cash grinding later, and our stats go from dirt to slightly cooler dirt. And that's it for this one. Larry isn't the end of our journey by a long shot, but he does mark a good close to this video. A video that is over an hour long at only 6 badges. Sunkern will return, stronger than ever, but for now, that's all I have. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, do all the things. I subsist off of your affirmation. And with that, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.